And A&M able to just squeak it out at the end. They played pretty good, though. So whoever wins this matchup is going to face a really strong Texas A&M Aggies team. Who do you have in this game? You like UCF, FAU? They both played great yesterday.
I don't know. I mean, UCF has just been playing, you know, a dominant event out here. But FAU, I mean, they keep surprising me. They look okay, then they look great. Then they look all right, and then they look great again. So it's going to depend on what FAU team shows up here today. But it's going to be tough to knock off UCF, the defending champions.
Yeah, so UCF, aggressive move right away on the right-hand side of your screen into the yellow zone, up in the center, and now moving on the D side. Body drops for FAU. So the Owls lose one early, and looks like they lose another one. So I think it's 3-on-5 right now. UCF Knights in the driver's seat early.
Hey, UCF losing a body, trying to push up to the 50. Dorito now, 4-on-3 situation, but UCF heading into the snake. Gonna come across and into snake two. Again, filling up to the 50 Dorito. FAU with Vogle here in the mini race bunker behind the snake, the back center, and the Dorito side corner. Looks like they're gonna lose their back center player, though. Just 2 bodies left alive now for FAU. As UCF getting that kill from the snake all the way across the field.
Now Vogle making his way into the snake.
Vogle trying to get a kill across the field. He does, he gets one out of that Dorito side can.
He's got to be careful with that 50-yard line Dorito, and he gets tapped out. So he did get one, but then he got shot himself, and it looks like this first point is going to go to University of Central Florida.
As Ansbaugh, the last body over there in the Dorito corner for FAU, unable to get any kills in that 3-on-1 situation.
Yeah, Daughtry in the center for UCF, making his presence known. He was one of their star players from last year.
Yep. New player out here, Brandon Evans, number 8 for UCF, hanging that flag. He's a freshman. Watching this kid for a long time. Finally getting his first run here in the college game for UCF. And looks like he's gonna get a major penalty. The referee threw the major, and Evans, with the flag hanging, he has a head hit, so I think that's gonna nullify the point. And UCF is gonna be playing down a body, so no point for UCF.
I don't know what it is about
freshman Brandon Evans.
I don't know what it is about the first points out here today, but so a major penalty cannot hang the flag with a hit on you. If you do, and it's an obvious hit, you're going to get a major penalty, and you're going to be starting down a body. So FAU right now, FAU getting a little lucky here.
Yeah.
As,
FAU going to catch a break.
Florida. Well, let's check in with Lauren.
Thanks, Maddie. As you saw, UCF did get a major there. They were hanging the flag, but he had a hit in the visor, which is a major penalty. They will be starting down a body, but they're trying to figure out if that's going to be a swing point for FAU. So this could be good for FAU, but we're still waiting to find out. Back to you.
Yeah, you can see there on the replay. Referee's checking him out and finds that hit on him. So the teams will reset. And it was almost a 2-minute point, about 1 minute and 35 seconds. But still, University of Central Florida looked really good. So yeah, you can see there on the replay, and then he finds that hit. He's like, yep, that's gonna be a major penalty. So, but UCF looked really good though, Todd.
Yeah.
They lost a couple guys, but they were, you know, this is a gunfight heavy field. We've been saying it all weekend long. And I mean, yeah, gunfights are important on every paintball field, obviously, because that's what you're doing out here. But some fields, because of the layout, you know, you're spending more time in one spot that you would normally when you're just trying to cannonball up the field. So looks like they're going to give that point to FAU because they was hung with a major penalty. And so FAU gets a breath of fresh air here to start this match. They stake for Central Florida. So the time is now running, and we're going to get here into point number 2. But UCF going to be down a body. Off the break, UCF running out wide, D side, not sending too many bodies, snake side. And one of them just got bounced, I think. So, I mean, you're looking at those are the heavy guns for FAU. They did bounce the player on the snake side for UCF, but he's clean still. Paintball has to actually break on you to count. Now the referee's running to check him out again. He's clean again, so he spent most of this point just getting checked out by the refs, which has allowed FAU to get a little bit of ground here on this field.
FAU, they lost Ansbaugh going out there to the Dorito side, but they still have another body in that can. One body up in the middle in that center tower shooting towards the snake side. And then 2 bodies over here on the snake side trying to push into UCF, but UCF locking down the snake side from that Dorito side can. Both the snake side can and the back center locking off the Dorito side, trying to keep that push from coming. So that's going to allow Vogle to get into the snake. A lot of distance over there from that Dorito side can, but UCF going to fill out to the snake side corner.
Try to stop the attack from Vogle here, and he's going to wrap around, also try to get a shot on the inside. So Vogle forced to concentrate his firepower on the back bunker for UCF here, snake side of the field.
UCF, they still have a body over in that Dorito. He's going to jump into the 50 Dorito and get blown to bits. He's going to walk off. Referee going to call. Oh, looks like it's going to be. He's calling him clean. He's calling him hit. He's calling him clean. So FAU player still alive over there in that big Dorito. Looks like Robson still alive on the inside big Dorito. 4 bodies for FAU. 3 bodies for UCF. And 6 seconds left on that penalty. FAU needs to get in position to shoot the box.
Let's see if they do. Comes out of the box and gets destroyed trying to get out snake side coming out of the box. So looks like FAU again in the driver's seat now. They already have a point on the board because of the mistake made by UCF. Central Florida, only a few bodies left alive for them. They still have decent field position here, snake side, with Zachary Cook into snake 2 for UCF.
Zach Cook's just sitting here posted up across the field on Robson. Also waiting for an opportunity to shoot at that center tower, who was just pounding paint down on him. And I think Mojica just got shot out of the back center for UCF.
So Cook all by himself over here, snake side. He's got a couple guns on him right now. It's 2 bodies in the snake for FAU. Oh, Vogle just caught a huge bounce on his arm. That was a direct drive into Vogle's arm. Got a little sloppy in there as Cook came out, but Cook bounces Vogle, so Vogle's still alive. On your screen right now, you can see the snake battle going down.
But FAU loses a body behind Vogle. Vogle's support player, he gets shot, he comes walking off. So 3 bodies left alive for FAU, 2 for UCF. UCF still over there in that Dorito side corner.
Yeah, so it's going to be up to Cook, man. Cook is going to have to try to, he already shot Vogle, but it bounced. So he's going to have to try to shoot him again here, or try to clip one of those guys in the center, make his life a little bit easier in here. And there's Vogle on the right-hand portion of your screen in the yellow zone for FAU. And there's that stand-up in the center who's putting pressure on Vogle for Central Florida.
Yeah, one of the traits of a good team is to be able to stay alive and continue fighting when you're down bodies. You know, we've seen this from UCF already this event. They don't get rattled. Whenever they lose a couple bodies early, they continue pushing, continue fighting. It's all about communication when it comes to these situations. FAU, they know they can't just go sloppy down the field. And there goes Robson making a move across into the 50 Dorito. He makes it in there. And immediately starts to feel the pressure from Cook here in the snake.
3 minutes and 47 seconds remain here in the first half. It's 3-on-2. Vogle makes a move up the bunker. So it looks like University of Central Florida going to be conceding the point. It was just Cook left in the snake for UCF. And he gives a couple words to Vogle, probably like, yeah, you know I shot you in your arm that one time. You got lucky, right? You know that, right? Okay, I just want to let you know.
Turn it, Corbin, turn it, Chris, turn it. Paintball, boys. That's how we're going to win this tournament.
So FAU going to go up by 2. The Owls looking pretty solid in that point. What a close battle, though, that one was, Todd.
Yeah, that was real tight. UCF was down bodies, but, you know, continued to fight, lock off those zones. There was that Dorito corner player, you know, really just sitting there shooting paint across the field.
And then you see
he might have been the one that got the kill behind the snake. So.
And then UCF tried to get out of the box on that major penalty.
UCF did burn off their entire major penalty that they started with, though, so they'll be back at full strength now.
See Daughtry making his way out. Zach Daughtry was one of the players last year that helped them win the championship. But now down by 2. UCF going to have to fight to get back in this match if they want to repeat as champions here in the NCPA. Also, this game brought to you by Contract Killer, CK Fight Life. Make awesome MMA gear as well as paintball gear. And if you want some amazing gun designs, laser engraving, they're definitely the guys to go to. Big shout out to Chris Corsino, paintball patron, Contract Killer.
There's Ansbaugh walking on the field, Dorito player for FAU. Robson coming on the field. Nadaski for FAU. Vogle's back out there again. And I believe that's Tom Ryan.
So on the breakout, FAU running up into the center, taking one though on his way to the bunker. So just one body drops early for FAU, four bodies alive for them. One and Vogle back into the snake. Vogle very consistently getting in that snake, Todd.
Yeah, and looks like UCF going to get a minor penalty over there on the Dorito side. So just shooting themselves in the foot early. That's 2 penalties now for UCF. Oh, it looks like that player's going to get shot. Looks like Evans trying to make a move over to the snake side. He gets clipped in the goggles. So just 2 bodies left alive now. You got Daughtry up in the middle, shooting, and I think we might have another penalty as number 7 gets shot for UCF. Nope, no penalty. Daughtry alone in the middle of the field. And here comes Vogle. Vogle's gonna blow Daughtry to bits.
Daughtry getting decimated in the center.
Everybody got a piece of Daughtry on that one.
Yeah. So Daughtry walking off with about 4 or 5 neck hits.
Yeah.
And Vogle gonna grab that flag. So nice work here. And FAU really grabbing this momentum and running with it. And penalties, though, issue with UCF. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go in this first half. And FAU stacking up a little bit of a lead here. However, 3 points might not be enough, as we saw in the first semifinal matchup with Penn State coming back to tie it up and forcing it to an overtime period.
And Maddie, I mean, who'd have thought FAU was going to go up 3-0
after that
on
first
the defending
point.
champs?
Yeah, because the first point looked great for UCF until they hung the flag with a hit. And since then, it has been all FAU.
Yeah, that minor penalty definitely helped him out over there. UCF was charging down the Dorito side, but probably got shot on the break, kept playing. UCF shot 1 player on the break.
Well, these teams are going to reset with, again, just 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go here. First half, 3-point lead for the Owls. We'll be right back after this. Let's check in with Lauren before the start of this next point. She's in the pits with UCF.
Thanks, Maddie. During that break, I was hanging out by UCF's pit, and they're really beating themselves up over these penalties. They know that they can beat this team. They're coming off, they're getting the kills off the break, but then they know they're throwing it away with these minor and major penalties, and they're trying to get it together. We'll see if they can do that. Back to you.
So get back here into the action. FAU looks like 5 bodies alive for them. Good field position in the center. They have a player at the stand-up. Temple in the yellow zone, locking down that snake. And 5 bodies alive for UCF as well.
Lochner able to sneak into that snake, though, for FAU. He's got help behind him. FAU with all 5 bodies alive. UCF, all 5 bodies alive as well.
Yeah, Lochner just got a little greedy wrapping around, not checking off on that lane, and looks out into a stream of paintballs. So that's going to give a little bit of an advantage over here, snake side, for UCF.
UCF in the back of the snake, shooting across the field. They got the snake side can. Looks like Cook standing up, shooting towards the snake side. Back center, Dorito corner, and Dorito 3. Ansbaugh in the Dorito corner for FAU. We got a body in Dorito 1, the center tower, and the back of snake 1 as well. 5 on 4.
Almost under a minute to play here. Minute and 3 seconds in this first half. The Owls holding their position and just rolling those guns. You can see there, good field position for FAU, even though they're down a body. And the Knights need to get some sort of aggression going. They don't want to go into the second half. Down by 3, they lose a body. Trying to push up now on the snake side. They lost that body on the D side. Oh, but FAU loses another one over here.
Wells getting shot out of the snake, trying to come out. Gets shot up by the center tower. Cook fills in right away. He gets into snake 2, he's still alive. Things getting real tight in the back center over there for UCF as well. And Cook's gonna get shot. FAU with the quick advantage.
Yeah, Cook lost his loader.
Ansbaugh makes a move. Down the Dorito side, are they gonna trade out? If they find a hit, nope. UCF player still alive in Dorito 3.
There's not enough time left though, as we will be going to the second half here with the score 3-0 in favor of FAU. FAU trying to make a last-minute desperation push to the flag, but not able to do it. Doesn't matter though, they're still gonna have a big lead. Relatively big lead here, especially with the way that this field's playing. Heading into the second half. Wow, FAU. And you know, as we listen to Lauren talk about the penalties for UCF, when you start getting penalties, you cannot let that affect the mental toughness that you bring to bear in these semifinal matches. You have to be like, you have to have that Teflon coating when those penalties start coming, because you have to come in there and, you know, you don't want to start getting down on each other.
Yeah, I mean, the mental aspect is so huge out here. You know, just being focused on what you do, not coming out of character, continuing to play the same game, you know, not worrying about what's going on around you, but just continuing to, you know, stick to the game plan, work as a team, and, you know, utilize your fundamentals.
Well, we saw this similar situation in the first semifinal matchup as Penn State went down early to Texas A&M Aggies, but then Penn State fought back. So maybe we'll see UCF get back in this matchup here. These teams will switch sides, and now UCF is going to be right-handed coming down this snake. And good paintball players are ambidextrous. You should be able to shoot with both your right and left hand, but you know, sometimes you just have a little bit more confidence when that gun's in your dominant hand.
Yeah, and we'll see. You know, we saw UCF get off to a little bit of a slow start yesterday in their final matchup, but then came right back and just ran off like 8 or 9 points, finished the match with like 10 points at the end of the day yesterday. So, I mean, they put it on Purdue pretty good there at the end. Purdue came out, fought hard, but UCF was too much in the end. But, I mean, that's the way championship teams play. You know, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And, you know, UCF definitely not out of this game. We got 10 minutes coming up in this second half, but FAU does have a 3-0 lead.
Well, let's check it with Lauren. She's down UCF pits with Julio Pasos.
Thanks, Maddie. Yeah, I'm here with Julio Pasos. Now, you guys were just having a little team meeting here in the pit. You're down 3 points going into the second half. What were you specifically discussing that you're having trouble with aside from the penalties?
Oh, we need to capitalize on the Dorito side. They're getting up into the 40 Dorito and just holding it up on us and just watching the lanes, preventing us from moving up on the Dorito side. So we can somehow hold him down or shoot him off. It'll give us freedom to run up on the Dorito side and help us out a lot.
I heard people saying that they're really stacked on the Dorito side. Do you feel like they might have some stronger Dorito players than you guys, or are they just getting into those better bunkers?
I don't think they have stronger. They're just gaining position on us before we do. So then they're holding down the lanes and preventing us from doing it. So we probably just need to push up with more aggression, get up there before them, and hold them from moving up and gaining position on us.
You guys are being really successful off the break. What do you think are the best strategy or the best bunkers to go to off the break to get the kind of kills you guys are getting right off the bat?
Well, the cans crossed up get good shots cross field too. So snake side can has good side shots on the Dorito can, and then the Dorito side can has good shots on the snake. So as long as we keep those guys crossed up and then use the home bunker to actually put more firepower down one side too, helps us off the break. So if we can keep capitalizing and stop with the penalties, we should be able to pull this off.
All right, well, they know what they're struggling with. They have a second half to bring it back, tie it up, and try to get this win. We'll see if they can do it.
From the 2015 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships, Matty Marshall with Todd Martinez. These teams switching sides now. Oh, UCF losing 3 bodies, 4 bodies right away. Disaster strikes for them, and I didn't see a penalty either. Looks like they just looked around into a bunch of balls. And here comes FAU again to put another point on the board.
Maddie, I think
They get a bad start.
it looked like the guy that went out to the snake side can was the culprit. He didn't throw the flag in the air. No, I didn't see that either. But he first ran at the snake side can guy and then went and pulled the back center guy for that. So it didn't look like he started early, but that guy definitely asked for a check.
Well, it looked like he
And
went
then
to
the
go.
second guy got pulled, but the third guy, on a major penalty, you only pull 1 body, but nobody ever went to the box either.
Chaotic breakout for UCF. You can see there's the coach, John Sr., talking to the referee, trying to figure out what just happened.
So there's the referee discussion.
Yeah, still didn't see a penalty, though. Todd, did you see a penalty flag thrown?
I did not see the penalty flag thrown.
It looked like a referee was going in there to pull one of them out, but I didn't see a penalty. So, I mean, refs go pull guys out all the time, but unless we see that penalty. So, if it was a penalty, maybe that was a mistake in the heat of the moment. The ref wasn't able to get the flag out and throw it. But a point's on the board right now.
There's John Sr., like he said, coach of UCF right now, talking to the referee. I mean, but FAU right now scoring that point, they're going up
4-0.
4-0.
Yeah, and so a little bit of confusion, but that point stays on. No penalties on the board. So it did look chaotic, and it looked like Central Florida.
Well, there's still nobody in the box.
Well, they have 5 bodies out there. Then a 6th body came out, and they had to tell him to sprint off the field. The referee is now talking to the UCF players.
So if there was a penalty and somebody got pulled for a penalty, there should be somebody in the box right now, but it doesn't look like they have any intention of putting anybody in the box. Still hasn't been a penalty time thrown up on the board yet. Now Daughtry wants to go talk to the referees.
Maybe Lauren has a little info for us. Lauren, for us down there.
They are discussing it pretty in depth here, but basically what the refs are saying happened is all 5 of the UCF players jumped before they were supposed to start the point, a good second and a half before the whistle had blown. The problem that's confusing everything is they also conceded, so they're trying to figure out where the point is supposed to go or if they're going to replay that point, but it sounds like because they conceded, they're just going to give the point to FAU. Back to you.
Wow. So that still makes it 4-0, and the refs are going to reset. Hermes, the coach for FAU, is taking his position as well. So let's just get a little look at this break here, left-hand side of your screen. So there's FAU, and we can't hear the horn obviously there's no audio on this replay, but you see the referee immediately running in there, taking 1, tagging 2, telling him, hey, you left early. The player that went out to the can here, Snakeside, tried to go back and tag up, but still, disastrous point for UCF, so they're going to have to try to get this one back net down by 4. Still a ton of time, though, here in the second half. 9 minutes and 31 seconds. And UCF trying to move on the snake side. Doesn't look like FAU lost a body either.
FAU player in the back center took a bouncer going in there. They're doubled up there in that back center. And now Robson makes his bump out to the Dorito side can.
So Daughtry in the snake for UCF.
Jeff got a player in the back center to the Dorito can, the center tower, and the Dorito 3. Looks like Daughtry may have taken a bouncer off his loader. Nope, Daughtry getting shot. He's going to come off. Early advantage, 2 bodies on none on the snake side for FAU. FAU, they're smart. They wouldn't let UCF fill out. Only the best center player looking towards the snake side for UCF. Vogle holding the lane on the snake side. FAU losing their first body off the Dorito side. They got Robson up there in Dorito 3. Really the only player looking that way, but he's looking into 2 guns.
Well, FAU,
make that 3 guns on the Dorito side.
Even though there's time left, FAU looks like they're not in a hurry. They're locked into their zones. They don't look like they want to move. They're just rolling their guns, trying to keep UCF from pushing forward. They're up, that's even on the body count.
And Robson loses a gun battle over there on the Dorito side. FAU, closest body now, is in the back center as 2 bodies come charging down the Dorito side for UCF. FAU not taking advantage of the opportunity they had over here on the snake side.
Yeah,
and now UCF is pushing down the Dorito side.
Well, UCF tried to send a player back from the, and I think that looks like somebody conceded the point. I don't know why that would be, why FAU would concede the point. And UCF still had a bunch of bodies left because they look at the UCF players are coming off, looking back at their pits like, guys, what are you doing? Why would you concede that point? There's 3 of us out here. It was still a close game. It was basically pretty much 3-on-3, Todd, unless somebody died over here that we didn't see. But the there's 3 bodies walking off right now from UCF, looking at their pits with dagger eyes. Very angry. As well they should, because that means they throw another one away. So, man, it is just going badly right now for UCF. Lots of these little mistakes starting to compound here, and now the score 5-0. So here's the D side, and this is FAU just rolling their guns. See, in the up in the yellow zone, tucked in their bunker. This was Daughtry in the snake for UCF, and he got shot. Asked the referee, and the referee's, yep, you're hit. So he has to walk off. And then this was UCF trying to scurry out to get out wide after Daughtry died. Let's check in with Lauren.
Thanks, Maddie. Just wanted to bring some clarification as to why UCF conceded that point. It was a decision made by players and assistant coaches in the pit. They believe that they were down 2 bodies, that it was a 2-on-4, and with a 5-point deficit, they just didn't think it was worth wasting the time on the clock to try to get that point when they were down bodies and had the disadvantage. So they decided to call the point, but the players that walked off the field weren't happy about it. Back to you.
Well, I wouldn't be happy with it either because I believe it was a 3-on-3, so it's dead even. If anything, don't concede that point. They made it a 5-point spread. It was a 4-point spread. They can yell from the pits in collegiate paintball, so you yell to your coach and tell those guys, hey, start making moves. We're running out of time here. We have a 4-point deficit, and then see what happens there. So a little bit of a mistake from the pit for UCF.
Two UCF players kind of got hung up on each other off the break, and then lose one body going out to the Dorito side can. Then we get out to the Dorito side corner, then he runs up to the Dorito 2. FAU losing Lochner out of the snake. Every second that ticks off this clock plays to the advantage of FAU. But here comes Christopher Wells attacking down the snake side for UCF. He gets into the 50 snake. He's looking to get some kills off that Dorito side. UCF into the 50 Dorito. Very aggressive play right now for UCF, knowing that they got a pretty big deficit to try and overcome here. Yeah, FAU just digging in right now.
FAU has to try to stodge the attack here from UCF, and now here comes UCF past the 50-yard line, takes out one, takes out another. So UCF on the attack, finally going to put a point on the board. They got to sprint it in, preserve as much time as possible, and with probably about 6 minutes and 31 seconds to go here, finally getting on the board. Now a 4-point spread for FAU. But FAU's got to be careful. They don't want to pump those brakes too much.
Yep, that was about a minute and 15-second point there. But UCF,
I kind of wanted to see this. I kind of wanted to see, you know, UCF has just been cruising through teams out here, Matty. Kind of wanted to see what they're really made of, you know, and FAU, who has been, you know, kind of warm and kind of hot this whole event. I wanted to see how they were going to come out here today, and, you know, definitely putting the pressure on UCF early, but UCF can score points in a hurry. The spread is 4 now, and they're definitely upset about what's been going on here these first 15 minutes of the game. So we might see some all-out action right now from UCF.
They have to.
Trying to come back to points.
Down by 4, 6:31 on the clock. No choice but to push forward into the guns of FAU.
Yeah, they were down bodies and still just charged straight up to that 50 Dorito. Wells just coming right into the 50 snake right away.
So we'll see, can they mount a comeback? UCF finally putting a point on the board. We're gonna be right back after these messages. Stick with us.
They say paintball is 90% mental. The mental aspect of our sport goes far beyond game plans and visualization. Now more than ever, Empire provides an unmatched support system for you both on and off the field. Having this level of support allows you to focus on the things that you need to go out there and get the job done. The Empire All-In Sponsorship Program. Thousands of players, hundreds of teams, one family, one support system.
So look for aggressive moves by UCF. The Knights going to be forced to attack against FAU. FAU going to have to try to hold them off, try to get in good field positions, take extra paint out, roll those guns. It definitely looks like they took extra paint out. Lots of paint on the backs of FAU right now. And here comes the attack. UCF up to the center 50 on the break. Looks like a body's dropping, might be a penalty. It is. Minor penalty on FAU, but FAU able to make an aggressive attack at the center. So chaos starting to set in here. Still a couple bodies left alive for FAU though.
Nadaski up there in the middle. He's got Vogle with him on the snake side. Vogle's got to protect Nadaski. Nadaski gets bunkered out of the middle, but he trades out. Vogle's still alive in the mini race bunker. He's looking at Mojica here in the center, and one player over there on the Dorito side who looks to be having some gun issues. Referee gonna run over and check him out. He's clean. Here comes Mojica up the middle of the field.
I think it's just Mojica left alive.
No,
they have a player alive. I'm sorry, Mojica left alive, but the other player hasn't having a gun issue. So the only player with a working gun right now.
Mojica, real tall, trying to hide behind one of those little pins, unable to do so. Vogle evening the bodies up. So it's a one-on-one situation right now, but that UCF player does not have a gun. And here comes Vogle on the attack. And it's gonna be a free kill for him as Vogle able to hold off in that 3-on-2.
Dietrich Vogle handling business. That was a huge point. That was probably the difference right there because UCF looked very good. There was a minor penalty on the Owls, but
man, I
not
think Vogle
too much
just
Dietrich
saved the
Vogle.
day.
Yeah, too much Dietrich Vogle for the Knights. Vogle gives a little chest bump to his coach, Hermes, coming off here. 6-1 is the score with just 5 minutes and 4 seconds to go here. Wow.
You know, for all the flack that we give Vogle, man, finally, you know, 3 years later, coming in here, coming into his own, playing big, stepping up for FAU.
See this action here in the center on the replay. And there was a couple different instances of some really close-up bunker moves right there. There was Daughtry getting shot out.
Yeah, Robson, you know, Robson was lucky not to get a minor penalty too, running through the middle of the field, pointing and screaming after he was hit. When he came through, there goes Robson on your screen as he trades out with the, or actually he bunkers out the A player, but then continues to go, and he got blown apart, but then started jumping and pointing. Definitely not something you want to do in a game like this. But all the referees were down looking at FAU's side of the field as they were trying to get that penalty right. But yeah, that could have been, you know, if that had gone UCF's way, or if that player had had a working gun, it could have been a 2-on-1 situation against Vogle.
Yeah.
You know, this could be a 5-2 game right now with UCF building some momentum, but instead, Vogle steps up huge as he comes down the middle. There's that player with his barrel off, trying to get a ball out, and then Vogle comes through the middle of the field and just torches him.
What a clutch performance by Dietrich Vogle.
Yeah, in a terrible bunker over there too.
Yeah, he was in a bad spot. But it's always tough to maintain your composure when there's craziness happening all over the field. You know, FAU ran through in the center. UCF's coming down the D side. Vogle and all of this craziness somehow able to, you know, keep calm, keep composed, and start, you know, lacing up opposition players. So here we go on the breakout. Uh-oh. FAU loses a body. D side, no one on the D side, but UCF losing 2 bodies, trying to push out wide. Daughtry walks off again. They also lose their player on the D side, still 3 bodies alive for them. And FAU with a 1-body advantage is gonna dig into their positions and start rolling those guns.
Evans getting shot out of the snake side temple.
UCF losing another body off that Dorito side. Looks like I think they only have 1 player left alive over here on the snake side, and he's gonna get shot. So Silverling, the last body to walk off for UCF. And here comes FAU.
So FAU definitely with all the momentum, Matty.
Well, FAU looking real good right now. They're taking advantage of the mistakes that UCF has been, you know, and it's not just 1 or 2 mistakes. It's just little small things here or there that have compounded over time, and Florida Atlantic is just taking advantage of that situation time and time again.
Yeah, there was Evans getting shot out of that snake side temple. Here's that last body for UCF. As he comes out and gets picked off from the snake side as well. That might have been Vogle.
Yeah, and there's just Dietrich Vogle just battling in the snake. He's been battling on that snake side for FAU and getting it done. So with a huge lead right now with just 4 minutes and 23 seconds to go, 7-1 is the score. We're gonna be right back with more of this semifinal action. Stick with us. Florida Atlantic University Owls trying to close this game out here against the Central Florida Knights with under 4:20 to go. Body drops again. FAU really starting to lock in those off-the-break shots. And Todd, UCF really having a hard time of staying alive off the break right now.
Yeah, FAU definitely just doing a really good job of shooting people on the break over here. You know, UCF, when they can get all 5 bodies out, you know, they can definitely really be dangerous. But stopping that right off the get, point after point, FAU shooting those front players out for UCF, and then playing smart, controlled paintball. UCF losing another body over there off the Dorito side, but continuing to push up into the Dorito 3. FAU still with all 5 bodies coming up into the 50 Dorito, but he gets chopped up. 3 bodies left alive. UCF, 4 bodies for FAU.
Body dropping for FAU, I'm sorry, for Central Florida. D side of the field, no attackers for them left on that side. Time ticking off, 3 minutes and 11 seconds to go. The Owls with this dominant lead, going to be winning this game here. They're just trying to get those last 3 minutes off the clock.
And here comes a last-ditch effort by Zachary Cook, as he's going to come into the snake. But just as he comes around, he's going to get picked off down the wire by Lochner. And FAU is going to start going crazy over here.
FAU getting pumped. Coach Hermes,
yeah,
screaming at his pit right now.
Finally looking like they're going to get a taste of the finals.
And man, Central Florida, a couple more players walking on to play these final points here, just looking defeated. You can see here in the replay, Central Florida trying to make something happen there in the D side, but just weren't able to get it going. It's tough when this is a really hard field to play, and you have to earn those moves. And when you start to push aggressively, sometimes technique goes out the window. You're just trying to make it happen, and that's when you start losing bodies.
And there's that FAU player, didn't go very hard into that 50 Dorito. He got blown to bits by the Dorito player of UCF, but no matter. So the rest of his team able to come close it out.
So under 3 minutes to go here. Big lead by FAU. Let's check in with Lauren.
Thanks, Maddie. With under 3 minutes to go, FAU was discussing whether or not they wanted to play story time and just sit it out for this last 2 minutes and 54 seconds, or, I quote, if they wanted to shove it down their throat. It sounds like they're going to go with story time. They said they don't need to get any more points. They just want to run out the clock and get to the finals. So we'll see what they run with here. Back to you.
Well, story time for them is hey, everyone get your spot alive, carry a lot of paint, and just dig a hole, and don't go anywhere, and keep them from pushing. But I mean, they've already started to run this score up as it is. That's more because Central Florida has been trying anything they possibly can and losing some bodies because of it. So regardless, FAU is going to be taking this victory. They're going to head into the finals to play Texas A&M Aggies. That should be a really good game.
I like story time, because normally with story time, you have snack time. And then after snack time, you get nap time.
So FAU doubling up the back center. More bodies, 3 bodies dropping for Central Florida. So we could see even more points here scored.
Yeah, we're gonna have a major penalty though on FAU out of that snakeside can. Looks like FAU threw a couple of their reserves in. Comes in, gets a major penalty, but
Still shooting bodies for UCF no matter what. So you hear the story time. Ansball left alive in the back center. Another body drops off the Dorito side for UCF. Looks like Daughtry right there in the snakeside temple. He may be all alone on 2 FAU players. Here comes Ansball retreating, coming back up the middle. Daughtry tries to make a move into the snake.
Gets eaten up. Under 2 minutes to go here. We're going to see yet another point as Ansball is going to grab that flag and try to walk it in as slowly as possible, though. Still 1 minute and 10 seconds on that penalty. So typically, if we were in a closer game, UCF would be conceding this point right now because they would want to preserve that major penalty on FAU. But because there's so many points that separate these 2 teams, it really doesn't matter at this point. Looks like they finally did concede it.
And there was Evans standing at the A, trying to get something going for UCF, but getting torched. And here's that major penalty off the break. That's Lochner.
Yeah, Lochner trying
diving
to make
into the
it in.
snake, but he's going to get pulled on the major.
There's Daughtry rolling his gun. He was able to make it in the snake. I think he got shot right after that. No, he might have got clipped going on. Yeah, he did get clipped from the inside. But what can you do? If you're UCF, you have to try to push forward, even just for pride. So with minute 42 seconds to go here, score 9-1. We're going to be right back. Stick with us. Welcome back. More second half action here. 2015 National Collegiate Paintball Association Championships. FAU Owls putting it on UCF Knights right now. And UCF, we thought this was going to be an evenly matched game. I really do feel that these two teams are, despite the score, pretty evenly matched on talent level. But the problem is that UCF just could not get out of their own way, making tons of mistakes, Todd.
Yeah, and UCF trying to fight back here, but FAU just doing a really good job of cutting them down, moving through the field. You know, penalties definitely hurt UCF early, but, you know, a couple penalties don't make a difference in an 8-point game here, as FAU has just been winning the big ones time and time again here today. So FAU going to get their shot at Texas A&M in just under 1 minute and 15 seconds. So here comes UCF, though, continuing to push. And Lochner, the last body for FAU. Is Mojica going to run and grab the flag and sprint it in to put another point on the board. FAU getting another penalty at that point, though, so.
So a little delaying of the inevitable here. Knights going to score a point. 2-9 will be the score. And still 22 seconds on that major from FAU. Typically, you see the opposite of what's happening here. Normally see the team that's trying to push into guns down points and bodies getting penalties instead of the team that's up by a bunch of points getting penalties.
Yeah, and there was the penalty. Here's Lochner there at the end. As you see Mojica come down the middle. A couple extra bonus balls for good measure. And then Garrett getting blown up there in the middle coming through, so.
Under a minute to go, 57 seconds here. Owls will be starting again down a body, still 22 seconds on that major. And also don't forget, looks like the Owls will be advancing to play Texas A&M Aggies in the championship match, which will be airing May 16th at noon Eastern time on CBS Sports Network.
That's going to be a game.
Yeah, it's going to be a game.
Cannot wait to see.
And what a crazy story, because Texas A&M with their skeleton crew, just 6 players on that team, but playing so well. So let's check in with Lauren real quick. Might have a little bit of info on that last penalty.
Thanks, Maddie. That last penalty was a playing on with a major hit against FAU, so they will be starting a body down. But like you've said, there's no chance UCF can come back here, so looks like FAU is going to win this.
Yeah, I think that means they're going to start with 3. Well, did they get 2 majors? I know they had a major to start with. Because at least 3. Do you see 3 bodies out there or 4?
I see 4.
Okay, yeah, there's 4. There's 1 lined up. Yeah, so they're starting with 4. But 53 seconds to go. And immediately all the way onto FAU side of the field. UCF not wanting to sail out of this one quietly. Pushing aggressive. Get a couple kills. And I think there's still 1 player left alive, so I think we could even see another point here as UCF pushing forward, and that's going to be a penalty for sure. And he shakes his head like, yeah, you're right, you got me.
You know, if I'm Evans, I'm getting off the field here. I'm not getting many more penalties.
Well, a little bit of smack talk between Evans and Hermes, the coach for FAU. Hermes, saw Evans get that penalty right in front of him, and Evans just got blasted and kept rolling. And you could see Hermes just screaming at him, yelling at him to get out, you just lost. And a couple other things I can't say right now.
Hermes definitely came to play today. He's coaching hard out there.
Hermes is pumped. He should be. To put up 10 points against a strong UCF squad in the semifinals to earn the right to play in the championship match.
In a local rivalry?
Yeah, it would definitely, with the local rivalry, for sure. And That's a big statement. But again, they're going to be playing a tough Texas A&M Aggie squad. So it's going to be the Owls versus the Aggies in the championship matchup. And again, we're going to sign off here for the webcast. But remember, the broadcast, again, May 16th, noon. Mark your calendars, Eastern Time on CBS Sports Network. So we still are going to see another point here, because unless it's under 10 seconds, they're not going to play the point. Or they only burn it off if it's under 10 seconds. So 29 seconds, they're still going to play this point.
I think they both want to play out this last.
Oh, this is going to be a crazy one. This is what we call, this is when it gets bloody knuckles time, and we're going to see lots of bonus balls being thrown out.
Oh yeah.
Because penalties, no penalty, unless it's like a gross misconduct penalty, that's not going to carry over to the next game. So anything other than flat out punching people right now is going to keep, that would be the only thing really to keep you from moving on and or hurting you in the next matchup. And since UCF's getting eliminated regardless, and this could be a crazy point.
Yeah, I mean, UCF, that last point ran all the way through the middle, and he got all the way to FAU's tower, and nobody picked him up. Unable to get any kills out of it, got blown up as soon as he tried to wrap around on the back center. But, you know, I fully expect to see something like that again.
Well, looks like a timeout has been called, so we're going to be right back here with the conclusion of this matchup. Stick with us.
They say paintball is 90% mental. The mental aspect of our sport goes far beyond game plans and visualization. Now more than ever, Empire provides an unmatched support system for you both on and off the field. Having this level of support allows you to focus on the things that you need to go out there and get the job done. The Empire All-In Sponsorship Program. Thousands of players, hundreds of teams, one family, one support system.
Just under 30 seconds to go as a timeout was called. Looks like the UCF Knights will be starting down a body because of Evans blasting away at the end of that last point. And I think we're going to see a lot of this bonus ball action here, depending on what happens here. Again, local rivalry. Everyone knows it. We know it. The refs know it. I'm sure the players are getting ready. And this is when you send out your really scrappy players.
Yeah.
The game's already been decided. Send out your guys that can take some pain.
The enforcers?
Yeah, you want to send out your Mike Paxsons, your Nicky Cubas.
Yeah.
Those are two legendary paintball enforcers. So here we go. On the breakout, all the way up to the center. So FAU going to send it all the way up and then he gets decimated. Here come the penalties. Daughtry's going to keep going. Ref's trying to pull him out, and he's not stopping. And so he finally stops.
Daughtry didn't really have a whole lot of hits on him.
Well, he got pulled on the penalty.
Oh, okay. As Daughtry and Pando shake it out here at the 50.
So did they stop it? It looks like they did stop it. So could see another point here.
Oh, man. So, two major penalties. That last point got the game called. Here comes the exchange at the A. Not too crazy. But, you know, both those players going to trade out. Daughtry comes booking through the middle of the field on the snake side. Penalties started flying, and we got 18 seconds for another run at it, but that's going to be another point for FAU. If you'd have told me yesterday that FAU was going to pound UCF into the ground 11-2,
I would have tried to take. I would have taken that bet, because Central Florida looked great getting here. So did FAU, but I just thought we were going to see another really close match, but it ended up not being the case. So just about 30 seconds before what will definitely be the last point. And Look for some more craziness in the center. And again, this game brought to you by Contract Killer. Shout out to Chris Corsino. If you want some amazing gun designs, definitely got to hit up Contract Killer. You need playing gear. And also, if you're into MMA, they have gis for jiu-jitsu and fight shorts. Anything you need, check out Contract Killer. CK Fight Life. So here we go. UCF only with 4. And a couple bodies walking off. FAU up to the center off the break.
UCF.
And here comes the attack.
Yeah, only 3 bodies on the field for UCF to start with all those majors. FAU.
And that is gonna do it. So nice work. Owls capitalizing on a lot of mistakes from Central Florida. There's Hermes with Pando. And Hermes should be very happy with his crew right now. Not only putting up that many points, but just looking good, really doing it. And just lots of composure from them. They took advantage of those situations and just slowly but surely increased their lead.
And so we're going to see it.
Yeah, stage is set.
Yeah.
Texas A&M Aggies going to be taking on Florida Atlantic University Owls. And let's check in with Lauren Kelly. She's down with Dietrich Vogle, one of the winners.
Thanks, Maddie. Yeah, I am standing here with Dietrich Vogle. Congratulations on that huge win. This is the first time FAU is going into the finals playing X-Ball here at Nationals. How does that feel?
It feels amazing. You know, it feels just like we prepared for it to feel like. We worked very hard at Hot Shots Paintball. Big shout out to our sponsors over in South Florida. Jeff Simke has an amazing field in Loxahatchee. Other than that, you know, we feel like we earned it. We worked really hard, and we finally came together as a team, and everyone is a leader, and everyone has the potential to say what needs to happen on the field, and that's how confident we are in the adjustments that we make and in each individual that we have in our pit and on the field at any moment.
Well, that was a great little speech, and I'm looking forward to that final champions match. It's going to be FAU versus A&M Aggies. Stay tuned. You will not want to miss it.
Hey, Denise.